Alright, hello everyone, welcome to our first video of the React Native new theming library, Theme CSX. Today we'll be talking about the library in general and about the way we can handle the library for our mobile apps in order to support dark, light and system mode support for our mobile apps. And without further ado, let's just get started. So I've just created a basic normal React Native Bear project and just change the basic stuff into just a simple view with the text in the middle, which just says hello there. And first thing, we're just gonna add the library. So we're just gonna use yarn here. Since we're using yarn, we're just gonna do yarn add theme and CSX. So just wait until everything gets installed. And yes, we're all set here. Clear, and yeah. So we've got the library here. We're just gonna import the stuff that we need. So for now, we're just gonna use the themed function. And as you can see, it's just a themed style function, which receives a themed text style, a themed view style, or a themed image style. And it basically returns an object here. And it's important to notice it's an object style. It's not a string or anything else. So, and we've got here the other parameter, which is just the appearance hook. And this is the one that controls everything, whether it's light, dark, or system mode. So to get started, there's different ways of styling. So we're just gonna show the three most commonly used ways of styling. And the first one is already made here, which is just an inline styling. And in order to use it with the theming, we need, as we said, is just to wrap the object with the T function here, and wrap as well this one here with the T function as well. And like this, we're all set. However, we've got a problem here. Why? And we'll see that now. Let's just reload this thing. And we've got an error. Invalid theme input is a valid theme style. So basically what it's just saying is that we're passing we're passing basically a view style here, and we're not passing it themed view style. And this is because this is basically a normal styling that does not require any additional processing. Since this is a normal styling and everything is set, there is no changing of theme here or anything else, this is gonna put an error. Now, passing this to the theme function and processing it, although it does not support anything for theming, this will make an extra work, and it's gonna use the CPU, and it's just basically gonna make the app inefficient. So for this, we got this error here, which is telling us this is wrong. You've gotta make sure this is a themed view style. Now, in order to make it a themed view style, you need to use one of the dark mode attributes. And for here, we can use the background dark here, as you can see. And let's say the color of the background will be black. And this is set here, and we're gonna still get this error since we did not figure this out. So here we're just gonna add the color dark, and when it's dark we want it to be white, of course. And this is done, and let's try to refresh again, and as we can see, everything is working perfectly. So very simple. It didn't take even 20 seconds and we're all set here. And this is basically themed. Now, the first thing happens is the app will default to system. Everything needs to work perfectly now according to the system. So if you're not playing with anything, if you would like to play with anything and just make it system, it's just like this. Everything works perfectly. Now we can just test it out, and we can remove this, and we can see this is our system here. Let's just go to the settings and wait a few minutes, and we're here, and we're basically in the settings, and we in the developer part. And let's try to switch the theme to dark appearance, and as we switch on, we can see that our app changes the theme. And one thing to notice here is, and this is basically special about this library, is that it changes the color immediately. for iOS, so you don't need to reopen the app to see the changes. Unlike other libraries, for example, style components, um, you have to reopen the app in order to see the changes. However, here you can see that everything changes perfectly from the outside. So we can try and test it out, and we can try to do light, and we can remove this, and we can see already the color it's just changed. So has changed, and we can just go back into the app. So basically, after doing this is just basically showing the inline styling and how we can use it with the theming. And we can move on to the next part, and this is basically using another way, which is just gonna show you in here, and we can just remove this here and uncomment this and comment this. This is another way of styling, which is basically very similar. It's just creating a different object, and for this here we need we need to get the what is called the type of this object, and in this case the type is themed view style. However, we don't have it here, so this is not mentioned in documentation. However, you can see it now, is that you can import the types, all the types of the all the types from the library can be imported and will work perfectly. As you can see, everything is working perfectly. And now if you don't like inline styling, you can just basically insert the container in the middle, and the same in here. You can just insert the text in here, and we can just save this, and let's just make sure that everything is working perfectly. And let's try it out, and yeah, refresh, everything is working. So this is the second way of using the library. You can just create the second way, of styling, and basically wrapping whatever style you have inside this T function, which basically stands for themed, and it just themes whatever object style you pass to it. So this is basically the second way, and the third way finally is using the style sheet. So now we can see that we've got a style sheet here, and we've got the same stuff. However, this time we need to add first of all the style sheet, which you need to import from the library as well. So here is the style sheet coming over, and we've got the container, which is coming this time from the styles, and again styles, and text, and yeah, we're all set here. We've got a style sheet, and you've got a container and the text. And one thing to notice here is that this style sheet is normal style sheet, so you can actually add another text, and let's say it's not themed. All right, this is not themed text, and this is normal text, and let's just add a color of red, for example, just overriding the color. And let's say this is normal text, and if we save this like this, and as you can see, we removed the theme, so this is a normal text. There's no theming for this one. It's going to be red all the time. And as you can see here, if we try to refresh now, you can see this normal text. And as you can see, we can use normal text also inside the style sheet. So this can be normal normal text. Let's just make it camel. All right, normal text, and let's say color is red, and yeah, normal text. Here we can just do styles.normal text, and everything works perfectly. Again, let's try to refresh. Everything is normal. So you inside this style sheet, you can use both normal and themed objects, and then pass it to here. And whenever you need to pass in a themed object, with attributes like background dark or color dark, then you have to wrap it inside this themed function. And yeah, this is basically it. This is using the style sheet, and this is working perfectly now. And next step is to show how can we switch the theme. And also it's very simple, very basic, nothing hard. You just gotta import everything from the same place. Appearance hook, this is the one responsible for switching the theme. Now in order to switch the theme, I've already created this example here that you can also find in the documentation. And in here we just gonna pass this function which basically responsible for switching the theme. And if we try to save everything in here, and we can see this function switch theme, and whenever this is called, so whenever you have a button on, or anything else that you're planning to use for switching the theme, you're gonna call this function. Well, and what basically this function does is it's going to another switch statement, and this switch statement is going to look into the appearance hook active theme. So it's basically gonna look which theme is active currently. If it's dark, it's going to switch to light, so it's using appearance hook to switch to light. If it's light, it's gonna switch to system, and it defaults to dark, right? So this is basically responsible for switching the theme, and for that we can try it out here, and we can just import the touchable opacity, right? Touchable, all right, something is wrong here. All right, touchable opacity. All right, we've got the touchable opacity in here, and all we can do is just, let's say this is the one that switched the theme, right? So switch theme. All right, switch theme, and all we need to do is just use the touchable opacity in here, and we can just get this up there, and on press, right? And we're gonna call our function, which is just switch theme, right? And this is our function. This is gonna be called whenever we click this text, which is gonna change to switch theme, right? And let's try to reload this thing. All right, it's switch theme, and let's just give a little bit of margin in here. Margin top of 15, let's say. All right, margin, right? Let's just give 25. All right, no, 15 actually is good, but we just need to reload this. All right, and now it's working. Let's try to switch the theme, and if we try to switch the theme, and actually we can just put the theme in here, so we can just write appearance.hook. Sorry, we're just gonna wrap this inside this, and like this, appearance.hook and .active theme, and we can see which theme we are currently on. And if we try to reload, and we can see that we're currently on system, and if we try to switch theme, and we can see that we're currently on dark, and if we try to switch theme again, and we're back to light, and again, and we're back to system, right? So everything is working perfectly until now, and it's all set and working perfectly. We've got a home component with a switch theme, and you can switch theme very easily, not very difficult. You can switch theme from other components, and it's all gonna work perfectly, right? Now we move to the next step, which is using the TV function. Now some people may wonder, well, how do we use it? It's not showing in the documentation, although I've uploaded an example recently, which just shows how it can be used for people who can understand the code and can review it and can find everything there, but I'm gonna work over it here. And so this is basically a helper function, which stands for themed value, and instead of returning an object style, it's gonna return a string value, and this works for the colors, and it helps specifically for React navigation, and this is how we support React navigation with this theming library. And as can be seen here, we're gonna integrate the stack, and we're gonna integrate the stack navigation using React navigation, and we're just gonna import all of this stuff in here, and we're gonna go here and just import stuff and uncomment these guys. And as can be seen here, we imported the stack navigator, the navigation container, and we created a stack using this create native stack navigator that we already imported. So we can move on and use our navigation in here. So we're just basically going to copy this stuff here, and instead of returning the home immediately from the app, we're gonna use the navigation here container, and we're gonna uncomment this. So we're basically going to do it like this, and this is uncomment. So we've basically got a navigation container that is wrapping the stack navigator, which is basically wrapping a one screen, which is home screen, right? And inside this home screen, we've got the home component, which is basically the same component that we've been using before, but this time inside this stack screen. And we've got the options here. Now inside the options, in order to theme this top title bar here, we need to use the TV function in this case. So we've got the title, which is basically home, and then we've got the TV function. So let's just refresh just to have a look about this. Okay, CG made the return statement. All right, so we need to return, right? We need to return this first. All right, and we can just take that and we have to return this. Of course, we forgot to return this, and we can just take this up there and everything needs to work now. Let's try to reload. Yes, sir. We've got the home here, and as you can see here, we've used the background color of this part of this component of direct navigation of the top header part, and using this TV function, which you can just put the mouse and you can see what basically it takes. And first color is just take a color value and a color dark. So the first one is for the light mode and the second one is for the dark mode, and it's just light another explanation, and it basically returns a color value, which is basically a string, right? And here in this case, when it's light, it's going to be a gray kind of a light on gray kind of value, background color value, and another one for the dark mode. Same here for the tint color of the stuff, and same here for the color. So this is basically a helper function, as we said, that helps with React navigation, and it sets everything in and make sure that everything works perfectly, right? So this is working, and let's try and test it out. Right now this is gonna work as normal, and let's try to run it. Switch theme, as you can see, the color changes here, right? And if we try to switch to light mode, and the color also changes as well, right? And we go to system mode, it also changes. And let's try the system with the React navigation. So if we try to go in here and we could try to go to settings, and we go to the developer mode and we change the appearance, and let's see if everything changes perfectly. Yes, sir. And as you can see, everything changes immediately, and when you reopen the app, everything is working perfectly. And you can still switch the theme to dark and switch to light, switch to system, which is now dark because we already switched it to dark, switch to dark, and switch to light again, right? And yeah, like this is basically it. This we can remove because we already used this. This is basically the library, very simple, very easy to use, nothing very complex. You can just add everything in under 2 minutes and everything's gonna work perfectly in your app. And in case you have any questions, you can comment them below. And in case you have some feedback that you want to give us, some improvements that can be done to the library, we're currently already working on improvements for the library and adding theming values. So just to make this clear, just instead of using the normal way, which people basically make theme equals and a normal object, and here you can just do the colors that you want to use. For example, primary, and you can just set the color value, for example white in here, and then we can use same thing here. We can use secondary, and we can just do a black, for example. And this is basically theme, and you can just use this in here, right? You can use this is definitely going to be in another file, and from that file you're going to just import this into this file, and from this file you can just go in here and use theme dot primary, for example, and then theme dot secondary. So we're currently trying to work this out and try to make this automatically fill in here instead of creating this object, which is basically the theming for your app. And for now we're currently looking into that. However, any other ideas that maybe better for users or for developers, you may comment them below and we can definitely try to work it out. And yeah, this was it. This was all about our React Native theming library, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and show love in the community. Thank you so much.